Hey everyone, it's Sasha. I just wanted to make a video to address some of the issues surrounding Invisible Children Inc. and Kony 2012. There's a lot of criticism, there's a lot of confusion, and a lot of people don't know what to believe. So I'm hoping through this video you can kind of come up with your own personal decision as to what exactly you should or you shouldn't believe and which side you're going to choose to take. But before I get into anything, I just want to apologize. I don't mean to offend anyone. I'm not trying to defend anyone, and I'm not trying to take sides. What I'm trying to do is put out information that I know, share things that I've learned throughout the years about invisible children, and hopefully you guys will feel like there's less confusion and you have more knowledge on the situation. If you can't find the article in particular that I'm discussing, feel free to just go leave a comment, ask me, and I'll find it for you. So before we really get into the nitty-gritty of this, I would just like to say that the video itself is great. The video is fantastic. It garnered 30 million views in the last 3 days. That in itself is a feat. I don't know how much any of you know about media, but for those of you that do know something about it, you know that 30 million views is really hard to accomplish with a video, especially a 30-minute long video, because you have to hold people's attention for that amount of time, and that's a difficult thing to do. So kudos to them for doing that. They definitely achieved their goal of going viral, and they also achieved their other goal of spreading information and awareness about invisible children and really getting Joseph Kony's name out there to quote-unquote make him famous. So, goal achieved there. A lot of people have been saying, oh, people are posting on Facebook, they think that they've been becoming activists, they think that they're good people by doing this. I say let's not take the positive out of something that's so great, because when people share that video, they're not trying to become activists, and I can't really speak for everyone, but for most people, I would say that they're not trying to show that they're good people. They're just trying to share something that they felt touched them and really open their eyes up to a situation that they didn't initially understand. And they want to go and share that with people and show them, wow, this is something that I really feel sympathy towards, really touched me, and here, watch this. Instead of, people seeing that as a positive for whatever reason, I heard a lot of other YouTubers saying, oh, well, people think, they're activists now. Invisible Children's been something that's been going on for so many years and stuff, and people should have got involved a long time ago, blah, blah. Let's not talk about what could have happened. Let's focus on what's happening now. To be upset about people for not having gotten involved with the whole Invisible Children movement is completely ridiculous. There are so many issues going on in Africa, and there's so many foundations around the world. To get mad at someone for not knowing one of them is completely ridiculous. Whether or not, you were involved with Invisible Children beforehand, or you found out about it, through school or something, that's your, personal thing. Went out there to find the information, you've known about it for a while, kudos to you. But it's wrong to go and insult people for finding out about it now. It's not something that should be considered cool and a fad, and that's how you're treating it. I know people are saying, oh, by spreading the video, it's making it seem like it's this cool, trendy thing. It's not. It's information, it's news, and even though it took a long time for it to go viral or for people to find out about it, we need to focus on the fact that, hey, people found out about it. This is a great thing. Just keep that in mind, that you should never try to be mad at someone for not thinking the way that you think. And I think that's where everyone's kind of wrong for doing that, is being upset, like, oh, well, you should have been involved, you should have been so much more involved. I found out about invisible children when I was in elementary school, and it wasn't my choice when I found out. I was in elementary school, and they came to my school and made a presentation to us, and that's how I learned about them. Then throughout high school, I heard about a lot of the criticism. So for me to go and be mad because someone else doesn't know about invisible children, that's completely ridiculous, considering I didn't go out and find that information. Someone else educated me on it, and then I chose to learn everything else that I learned. Whether or not someone thinks the same way that I do, I can't control that. This is something so good. You're turning a positive into a negative. Don't do that. Try not to do that. Let's look at the positive here, and the positive is this information is being spread around. Invisible children is gaining awareness. Joseph Kony and the LRA, hopefully everything's going to get put to stop because of this, because people are learning about this. That's what's important. Whether or not people are doing it to make themselves look good, it doesn't matter, because them sharing the video is creating positives either way. So the main underlying question here is, should I support invisible children? Me personally, no. I'm not going to give them any sort of monetary support. I'll watch the video. Like I said, think the video is great, but I'm not going to donate money to them. I made that choice a couple of years back because I've been hearing heavy criticism about invisible children over the last couple of years. My deal with them is they've been receiving criticism for so long now that it's kind of strange to me that they're finally deciding to face it and kind of try to dispel it now, because all of a sudden they've garnered all of this attention. How appropriate, because now's the time to do so, right? I mean, if I was a foundation, I'd look at it this way. The second that I would be receiving any sort of criticism, I would try to go and say, hey, look, this isn't true, and this is why, beforehand, not when it's good for me. And that's basically what they chose to do, which I think is kind of strange. A couple of the reasons why I'm not choosing to donate to them is I've heard 31% of their profit are what actually go to the Invisible Children Foundation, and so that's the only part of their profit that actually goes to helping anyone. I found a link to one of their tax forms. I'll provide that somewhere. It's like a statement, I believe. And there's also a Yale political science professor, Chris Blattman, who's accused them of being both misleading and dangerous, which is probably because of Foreign Affairs, some of manipulating facts. Better Business Bureau has also given them criticism because they won't provide them with any sort of private financial information. But the Better Business Bureau needs it so the BBB can go and analyze that information and decide whether or not they meet the requirements to be a nonprofit or to be a charity organization. And they haven't provided that information. And to me, that kind of tells me that they're trying to hide something. Because why would you not provide information to the BBB? And I know that they just came out with something on their own personal website to kind of address all of those issues. I read through that, and my thing with that is all of the facts, the monetary facts that they gave and everything that was written up, it was information provided by them. It's not like a third-party service. See, the BBB would analyze that information, and they'd be an outside party, so they'd look at it and be like, okay, this is good. And we wouldn't have to worry about them really being biased, since they're not a part of Invisible Children. They have nothing to gain out of them saying positive things about IC. Whereas Invisible Children, writing up their own reports on themselves, has everything to gain about them saying positive things about themselves. Another thing is, I've heard that the Invisible Children supports UPDF. I don't know how true that is. On the statement that they gave, they said that they don't. But if they do, my problem with that is that UPDF has been accused of rape and sexual assault, and they've also been accused of hiring children soldiers. And that's kind of counterintuitive, considering that that's what the LRA does. So why would we support a group that does the exact same thing? But apparently, according to Invisible Children's little statement that they put on their website, they said that they're not supporting that. So Hopefully that's true. Another thing that I was talking to my friend about, she happens to know a lot about nonprofits because that's her parents, that's their job, that's their living. She was telling me, you can't expect 100% of profits of any organization to go towards the cause, because the thing is, for most people, that's their living. Like, when they create an organization for that, for the invisible children, the guys that are doing it, that's their living. I get that. That's their job. The thing that makes me kind of worry about it is there's other organizations that have given more money to invisible children, and so I don't really see why IC Inc. can't do it. Children of the Nations, water.org, I believe water.org provides, I think it's 70% or almost 70% of their profits go towards their cause, which is providing clean water to, I think it's impoverished nations just in general. So it's possible that they could be giving more, and my only question is, why isn't that happening? The statement that I'm going to be putting the link to, you can see that they make a little over $6 million a year. That's quite a good chunk of change. So my thing is, as much as, it's good to support invisible children and what they're doing because they're getting the information out there, there's other organizations that are doing more by providing more money. I get that the video is really great. That makes a lot of sense to me. I'm not going to question that at all, because there's no denying that the video definitely got information out there, but there's other organizations that are providing more of their funds to help the situation. Another thing that's also important to take into consideration is that if we remove Joseph Kony from his position of power and then leave and expect everything to be okay, it's not going to happen. That's not the way it works. You can't go and knock out a leader and expect that someone else isn't going to try to rise up to that position of power. You need to put people in there to kind of manage and make sure everything's okay, like really break things down back to like their normal state to make sure that those kids are going to be okay after the fact in a long-term situation. You can't think short-term. It's not, okay, we're going to kill Joseph Kony, then we're going to split. Because if we do that, something else is going to end up happening after the fact. It's a situation that's going to take a long period of time to work on it. It's going to take not just us going in there and getting rid of Kony. We're going to have to get rid of him and stay in there and really like work with the other problems that are going on, the other problems that have been caused by Kony being in power. And I think that a lot of people don't understand that, so they're just like, go get Kony. And don't get me wrong, the guy's a jerk, and I hope that he's dead. But that's just not the solution, although I wish it was that easy. I hope to God, if anything, that I'm wrong, because it's really, really, really heartbreaking to find out that a foundation that so many people have supported and put so much, like, emphasis and, like, belief behind is not what it seems. Like, to find out that these people are doing it for their own personal monetary gain, it's just really disappointing. And I'd hate to be the bearer of, like, bad news and to go and, like, make this video and, like, this is what's going on. I don't know that for, like, actual fact, but, I mean, that's the way it seems. And I hope that it's just one big misunderstanding.